There's a specific type of woman that people can't stop watching, and it's not the one who's trying the hardest. Euphoria gave us two of the most discussed female characters in recent television, and on the surface, they look like total opposites. One is sweet, beautiful, and deeply romantic, and she wants love so badly you can feel it through the screen. The other one is magnetic, unbothered, and moves through every room like she's already won. One makes every effort visible, and the other makes every effort invisible. And somehow, the one who seems to be doing less always ends up with more. This is She Studies Power, and today we're doing a full character study on Cassie Howard and Maddie Perez from Euphoria. Not as a ranking or takedown, but through the lens of these two characters and their archetypes. And once you see what they represent, you'll start recognizing them everywhere. For anyone who needs a quick orientation, Euphoria is HBO's critically acclaimed drama set in a suburban high school, but makes it aesthetically gorgeous and emotionally brutal. And within this world, Cassie and Maddie are best friends. Two beautiful, bold girls who couldn't be more different in how they navigate the world. Cassie Howard, played by Sydney Sweeney, is the girl who feels everything and shows it. She's conventionally stunning, classically beautiful in that wholesome, soft way. She falls in love with her best friend's ex, she gets pregnant, and she remakes herself entirely for a boy who still won't choose her publicly. She cries a lot. She tries harder than anyone around her, and somehow that effort seems to actively repel what she's chasing. Maddie Perez, played by Alexa Demi, is something entirely different. She's sharp, stylish, and commands attention without requesting it. Her relationship with Nate is very toxic, but what's fascinating is that even in the middle of chaos, Maddie never fully loses herself. She doesn't shrink, she doesn't perform, she just walks into a room and the room adjusts to her. The question worth asking isn't who's better, the question is, what are they each doing psychologically that creates such different results? There's a concept in social psychology called perceived scarcity. This is the idea that we assign more value to things that appears rare, limited, or hard to access. It's why a limited edition item feels more desirable than the same item on permanent sale. It's why a person who seems self-contained and unbothered tends to draw people in, while someone who broadcasts their availability tends to repel the very thing they want. There's also what researchers called self-disclosure calibration. Essentially, the social power that comes from what you choose not to reveal. Mystery isn't just an aesthetic, it's a structural advantage. When someone can't fully read you, they stay engaged. They keep trying to figure you out, and they keep coming back. Cassie and Maddie essentially represent opposite ends of this spectrum. Cassie is all disclosure, emotional, physical, and strategic. You know exactly where she stands, what she wants, and how she feels. Maddie is calibrated mystery. She reveals just enough, never too much, and she moves in a way that suggests she has an interior world you're not fully invited into. Neither is moral judgment, but both have real measurable social consequences. Now, let's get specific, because this is where it gets interesting. Cassie's tragedy in Euphoria isn't that she's a bad person, it's that she makes her investment visible at every turn. When she starts her situationship with Nate, she begins waking up early hours just to do her makeup before he sees her. She changes her style, her hair, and her personality quietly, desperately calibrated to what she thinks he wants. And here's the painful part: he notices. He just doesn't value it. Because when someone can see exactly how much you want them and exactly how much you've rearranged yourself for them, the chase is already over. There's nothing to pursue. You've handed over the entire game. The vulnerability isn't just emotional, it's strategic. Every time Cassie cries, every time she makes her need legible, she's giving away leverage she didn't have to. And the really gutting thing is that she's not doing this because she's weak, but she's doing it because she genuinely believes that love should be proven through effort. That if she tries hard enough and gives enough, she'll finally be chosen. That belief is a trap. Now look at Maddie. Maddie's relationship with Nate is a disaster. Let's not romanticize it. But notice how she moves within it. She doesn't beg, she doesn't remake herself, she has opinions, edges, and a distinct point of view. She fights back. When she gets dressed, she's not dressing for his approval. She's dressing like someone who has already decided she's worth looking at. There's a difference, and people can feel it. And what does that create? Even when Nate is treating her badly, there's never a question of whether Maddie is desirable. The audience is never worried about Maddie the way they're constantly worried about Cassie. Maddie has social capital that survives the relationship because it was never located in the relationship. Here's what makes the real-life parallel so striking. Sydney Sweeney, the actress who plays Cassie, became deeply controversial around the same time the show exploded. She was selling her bathwater, her posts on social media were very available and visible, and had high exposure content constantly. And the conversation around her shifted from she's stunning and talented to something more complicated. The overexposure flattened her mystique, even if it boosted her clicks. Alexa Demi, who played Maddie, did the opposite. She showed less, her Instagram presence stayed selective, and she gave almost no interviews. She kept her personal life genuinely private. She has 11 million followers and shows up rarely, but when she does, people lean in harder. There's a version of her that people are still trying to figure out. That sustained intrigue is not an accident, it's a choice, operated with real discipline. The characters bled into the real women, or maybe the real women were already embodying these archetypes. Either way, the pattern holds. Here's where I want to complicate this, because we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't. Maddie's allure comes at a cost. She's not fully letting people in. She's protected, yes, but there's a version of that protection that keeps you from genuine intimacy, not just bad relationships. The mystery that creates desire can also create distance. And Cassie, for all her chaos, is at least fully alive in her feelings. There's something real and human about someone who loves that openly, even when it destroys her. The goal isn't to be Maddie perfectly and never to be Cassie. The goal is to understand mechanism and then decide deliberately when to be each. What strikes me the most about these two characters is that they're not separated by beauty, intelligence, or even circumstance. They're separated by one thing: the relationship each one has with her own value. Cassie needs external confirmation to feel like she's enough, so she performs, she reveals, and she proves. And the more she proves, the less she's believed. Maddie operates like she already knows, and because she moves that way, the world takes her at her word. The real-life application is never show emotion or be cold to get what you want. It's more subtle than that. It's a difference between sharing something because you genuinely want to versus sharing something because you need a reaction to feel okay. One comes from fullness and the other comes from deficit. And people, whether consciously or not, can feel the difference. The most magnetic version of yourself is almost never the version that's trying to be the hardest to be seen. It's the version that already believes she's worth seeing. Cassie is a lesson in what happens when you outsource your value, and Maddie is a lesson in what happens when you don't. The characters are opposites, but they're made of the same material, the same world, and the same pressures, just completely different internal starting points. Euphoria might be set in a fictional Jersey suburb, but these two archetypes are not fictional at all. You've met them, you've been them, probably both at different points in your life. So I want to know, are you more of a Cassie or a Maddie? Not who you're aspiring to be, but who you're actually recognizing yourself as in this moment. Drop it in the comments because I genuinely want to know. And if you've ever caught yourself doing a Cassie thing, remaking yourself, proving yourself, or shrinking yourself, I'd love to hear what shifted for you. If this video made you think, share it with someone who'd appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.